Hello, my super Scorpio, and welcome to your general love reading. This is just a general reading, so do take what resonates and toss the rest. Also, if you haven't had a chance to check out your other readings on my channel, please do so. And don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, share button, all that great stuff, the notification bell. I'll be putting up moon readings very shortly, as well as weekly energy readings for Christmas, New Year's, that kind of thing. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. This is mostly to do with your love life. So I do apologize. I do have a little bit of a sinus infection, so I am a little congested. I know I sound awful, but we'll go ahead and get started here. This top row is indicative of kind of where you are now. Do remember that time is fluid in tarot, so you may already be kind of partially through here, may just be starting. Second row, and if you can't see them, don't worry, we'll go through them one at a time, and then we'll get clarifiers from two different love decks at the end, okay? Second row is kind of where you will be going, so within the next month, 2 months, that kind of thing in your life. And the third row is indicative of whatever you believe is your guiding spirit, higher divination, communion of saints, your universe, whatever it is you believe guides you, their advice to you. So let's get started here. So we have the Emperor. This is a very powerful card. So I do feel like for many of you, this is somebody that's pivotal in your life. This could be your energy, okay? If it is, it may be that you are the center factor of your family right now. And, you know, you're just kind of dealing with a lot. And so you're kind of in control of everything. For that, I do feel like for many of you, this is causing your relationships to take a backseat, okay? It's giving me that vibe that you have this Emperor kind of energy surrounding you. And I feel like with that, what it's doing is that unfortunately, because you are having to take on the Emperor duty, so head of household duty, head of family duty, head of work duty, whatever it may be, it's making it difficult for you to focus on your personal relationships. So you may be having strife with a relationship if you're in one, you know, maybe kind of like, you may be not having time to develop a relationship. You may not have to have the effort or energy to be able to go out there and look for a relationship. Or maybe your relationship, if you're currently in one, is suffering a little bit because, you know, you're so busy, you're so focused on everything that's going on around you. You know, you're having to kind of be the jack of all trades, the head master, the, you know, the head of everything, right? And so I feel like for a lot of you, that is really affecting your personal relationship. Because the next card we have here is the Five of Wands, and that's showing conflict. And I just really feel like, you know, I don't see that as being anything hugely overwhelming that you can't, you know, overcome, but I do feel like it's kind of just friction, right? So maybe you are on the outs with your significant other or somebody you were just starting to see. It's kind of like not really going anywhere, or it's fizzling, you know, or maybe for some of you, things aren't moving the way you wanted, or if you're in a long-term relationship, you guys are really just starting to get on each other's nerves. And it is that time of year, right? If you are a head of household, or feel like you're having to run the show, you know, it's that time of year where you're having to be the jack of all trades and take care of everything and organize everything and all that. You're spent, right? So you just don't have the time to show them the attention, your significant other, the attention that maybe they're used to, or they want, or they need, and they're feeling, you know, neglected or whatever, and it's causing a little bit of strife here. Okay, so I just feel like, you know, relationship-wise, things just aren't great for you right now. But we do have the Hanged Man in reverse here. So I do feel like for you, you're just like, I don't have time to think about it right now. I'm not going to sit down. I'm not going to labor over it. I don't have time to sit and just contemplate my relationship right now. You know, whether it is you're trying to start one, whether it's a new one, whether it's your long-term one, you know, you're not going to sit and contemplate that. And I think that's probably your best option, right? Do what you're doing. You know, once things settle down from holiday seasons, from busy seasons, end of the year work, you know, deadlines and quotas and all that kind of stuff, when things kind of settle down, the dust clears, I think things will be a little bit easier to deal with. Right now, trying to sit down, think and overthink things, it's only going to be bad for you, right? So I just think that, you know, it will make the friction worse, right? So right now may not be the time to kind of address major relationship issues or struggles or whatever, right? Don't put too much thought into it. If maybe you're having friction, you're like, oh, this means something major, we're on the outs, oh, it's something huge, I don't think that's something you really need to worry about. But let's see what we've got going forward, okay? We do have the Page of Cups. Okay, so this is an opportunity coming in, could be for a relationship. So it could be somebody who, if you were interested in somebody that's coming into you, the Page of Cups, however, is typically either a younger person or an immature type of person. So I do want to caution that with being a little bit cautious if you are looking for something, very serious, very long term. If this is somebody new coming in, they might not be something for you. They may be looking for something a little bit different than what you are, okay? Now, this could also be indicative of pettiness. So if you're in a relationship and this is the person that you're in a relationship with, it's falling under your Emperor card, right? So again, you're having to do all this heavy duty lifting, right now with being jack of all trades, handling work, handling family, handling this, that, and the other, organizing everything for the holidays, whatever it may be. And this person's just being a little bit petty, right? They're bringing in all their pettiness. They're like, you're not paying enough attention to me. You're not doing this. You're not doing that, and they're bringing it to your door, right? Like, come on. So that may be just something that you have to deal with, right? Expect it, anticipate it, and deal with it, right? Because I think you'll get through it. Like I said, I think that is just kind of something that you need to just kind of let go, let the dust settle. Don't engage too much, especially, this could be somebody who's an ex, right? Children's father or mother, something like that you don't normally spend time with, but, as the seasons are coming, up, holidays, things like that, you may be thrust into seeing them more or what have you, and they're just on your last nerve. They're petty. They're, you can't deal with them. And so you're just kind of like, don't engage, right? If you can keep from it, don't engage, because it's just going to drive you nuts, right? Because the next thing we see here is we have the Four of Wands in reverse, right? So your foundation is kind of upside down. And I don't necessarily think that means that your whole world's going to be turned upside down. Like, okay, you're splitting from your, your husband or wife of 30 years, anything like that. I'm not reading that. I do see it under the Five of Wands here, but I don't necessarily see it as so malicious or dark or, that kind of thing. I see it more like, it's just really kind of taking its toll on the household, right? So maybe you're exhausted, you're over it, and, I think a lot of it is just like the more friction, it's kind of like, okay, it's turned the house upside down. Things that, we're not on firm foundation. We're kind of at odds. We're kind of having this and that, and it's going to continue probably into the, through the holiday, through New Year's, like maybe through the new year, into the new year, not through the new year, but into the new year where we're on a shaky foundation, right? So if it's a, person you're just now starting to date, just now starting to get into a relationship with, just now getting involved with, you may think things aren't working the way I wanted them to. Things aren't going the way I felt like they should. And they may not be, okay? It may not be perfect right now. And, you may be kind of having some friction about, what you wanted to do for the holiday season or how you wanted to handle certain things. And, or this is, your spouse or significant other that you've been with for umpteen years, or whatever. And you guys are just at each other's throat because there's just too much, you've got extra family coming around that you're not used to. You got too much on your plate. Everybody's like, work deadlines and this and that and extra family and the holidays and all this stuff, and everybody's just kind of, tensed up. So it's really kind of flipped your foundation upside down. I don't think this is anything that is not fixable, right? In any way. Unless, you overthink it. Again, that's why I think your Hangman is in reverse. It's telling you, don't engage too much. Don't overthink it. Don't bring anybody else's pettiness. Don't allow that to get into you. Kind of keep to yourself. Any thoughts that you have about anything major, life-changing, family-wise, altering, relationship altering, kind of wait until, it's not such an emotional time. It's not such a stringent time. It's not such an anxious time. You're a little bit more chill, relaxed, dust is settled to discuss anything like that. Okay. Take that kind of advice, because even though things may be turned upside down right now, I do think you can always right the ship for sure. I'm not getting any vibes here that say that it is not possible to fix this, right? I'm just getting the vibe that, right now you feel like, holy crud, everything is like, crap up, right? Not what I need it to be, not at all in my relationship. But we have the Temperance card and it's under the Hanged Man. So again, I think it's telling you, do not overthink things right now. However, as you're moving forward, once you have passed a certain point, once things do calm down, when you're not in an emotional state, when you're not at a knee-jerk reaction, when you're not under piles of stress, end of the year deadlines for work, holiday seasons with 50 people descending upon your home that you're not used to, tons of extra added, financial stresses and all these other things that come with the holidays and the end of the year and all that kind of stuff, then what you need to do is, weigh things out, talk things out, be moderate about how you address things, be calm, be cool, be collective. But the Temperance card is a positive movement forward card, right? It's moving forward cautiously, but in a positive way, right? You're able to move forward because you're able to make a well-adjusted decision. You're able to think things through in a, intellectual way, not a knee-jerk, holy cow, I'm just going to do something fly off the handle kind of way. So, and I think that's exactly what the gist is here. Don't make it up here in the Hanged Man where you're going to think it and overthink it with emotions and stress and all that driving your decisions. Think about it after all said and done, when you can calm down and really put some thought into it, because I think really every vibe I'm getting from this is letting me know that this is something that you can easily work through. Things are going to be fine, but you kind of have to time. Timing is everything with this, okay? With this relationship, whether it be somebody you want to start dating, whether it be somebody you just started dating, whether it be somebody you've been married to for 40 years, timing is everything with this situation, okay? But I definitely am feeling friction here right now, okay? So let's see what and for the generic term, for the collective, we'll call it spirit, but whomever you believe is your guiding force, what their advice to you is. So we have the Fool in reverse card, okay? So I do believe what they are saying to you here, with it being under your Emperor card and the Page of Cups card, is do not step off this. Do not be so kind of, okay, laissez-faire about it, that, you're like, okay, I'm done, right? I'm over it. I'm just going to forget it. It's too much. It's too much to worry about. I have way too much on my plate. Otherwise, other stuff that I've got to take care of. I'm the king or queen of this castle and I'm done with all this other drama, nonsense, petty bull. I'm just going to take it. I'm going to walk right off this cliff and say, forget about it. I don't even care, right? They're telling you, don't do that, okay? Seriously, this is something that can be fixed, okay? I don't care if you're at each other's throat right now. I don't care if they're just not speaking to you right now. I don't care if they're not answering your phone calls and this is a person that you have texted and talked to every day, for the last month or the last 10 years. I don't care what the situation is. I do feel like what they're saying is, don't be lackadaisical about letting this just slide, okay, or go, or, whatever. Time it, think it through, be judicious about it, okay? And it can be fixed. Everything can be fixed, okay? Because your next card is the Ten of Wands, and that's about putting burdens down, right? And I do think that is exactly what, we're saying here. Do the right thing. Don't throw it away. Put the burdens of it down and be judicious in, rebuilding that foundation. You can build it back better. You can build it back stronger, but you have to do it through temperance, through being moderate, through being, balanced, through kind of taking a little bit of each of your issues and kind of working through it, compromise, those kinds of things. Because you don't want to be like, no, I don't care. I'm done. I'm jumping off this cliff and I'm over it, right? Forget it, whatever, right? Who cares? You know, like that would be foolish of you. You would feel that way, right? You can put the burdens down. By the time you get to this point, you can start, forget about this upheaval. Forget about that tumultuous time. That's behind you. Put the burdens down and start moving forward into a much better place, because you can build stronger and better relationship. When you go through these times that are stressful, that are difficult, that are hard, and you come out better on the other side, you've weathered a storm together. You've gone through something together, and that's really, really powerful, right? And because you're able to come out stronger on the other side, that's a bond. And it's not like a trauma bond where, you know, somebody's abused you and done something horrible like that. It's an actual, you know, we've been through something together, we've shared an experience, and we've stuck together, we've made it, right? That's like supportive, right? So that's a positive thing. So whatever your situation is here that you're arguing about, whether it's finances, whether it's, you know, we're just under a lot of stress, we're arguing about everything. Doesn't matter. It could be, you know, we're arguing about who's washing the dishes tonight. It doesn't matter. It's just because we're so loaded down with stress. You know, whatever it may be, I think you'll come through it. And I think you'll come through it better. Okay. I really, truly do. Put the burdens down. That's what they're telling you. Let the little stuff go. Reset. Okay. Yes. It feels like your foundation is off its rocker right now, but you know, by the time you get through a month or two, you know, and everything's past, all the stress and the drama and the, you know, anxiety and all that's past, you will be able to really put things into perspective, calmly and rationally, you know, discuss it, make decisions together, and you'll be able to put those burdens down and move forward in a very positive way. Because right here, your last card is the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, that is huge. Positive wealth, okay? And it doesn't necessarily mean, it can very much mean wealth, financial wealth. And oftentimes it does mean financial wealth. So if you're struggling with finances, this is what you're fighting about, no worries there. This is saying you are going to come to a decision that is going to be very lucrative for you, okay? But if it's other things, this can be an abundance of wealth. It can be a wealth of knowledge and love. It can be a wealth of, you know, having your people around you, your family, that person's love back with you where, you know, you felt like that was missing in your life, you know, whatever. But whatever it is, this is a beautiful, happy, wonderful card. Strength, power, and abundance, right? So this is, you're ending on a great abundance card, and it's all under this, you know, situation where you're saying, hey, don't overthink it now. Wait until you get through some tumultuous times, then make good decisions together where you can put the burden of all that's going on down now and focus on just what you guys need to really move forward in a very positive way. And you will, right? So let's go ahead and pull 3 love cards out of this deck here and see what kind of advice we can get for you on that. And hopefully that will be helpful to you as well. All right, so we have reconciliation. And again, I think this is perfect because it's on this full in reverse card. And, you know, that's what Spirit, for better use of the word, is telling you to do. Reconcile. Do not throw this away. There's plenty there to work with. I don't care, you know, don't just say, forget it. I don't care about your feelings, or I don't care about your point of view, or I don't want to deal with this, or it's just too much, or whatever. I don't need this. You know, reconcile. It's worth it. Trust and believe it is worth it, okay? This one is forgiving and learning. And again, this is exactly what we're talking about here. Putting the burdens down, you know, forgive this kind of, you know, little bit of tumultuous situations, this friction you had up here, forgive about that. And learn how to move forward in a positive way. And how do you do that? You do that with temperance, with deciding, making good decisions, discussing it, finding ways that work for both of you, finding ways to move forward in a positive light, but doing so when you're not under heavy duress, heavy stress, where you're going to make really emotional decisions or knee-jerk reactions or whatever, right? So timing. And then this one is love yourself first, right? Okay, so this is coming under your Hanged Man, your Temperance, and your Ace of Pentacles, okay? So what this is telling you is that you need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, right? If it's not, and I think this is really, really relating to this Hanged Man in reverse, really heavily for many of you, because I think you have a tendency to think and then overthink, and you can drive yourself, into a point where you are just really, you either get yourself really upset or you throw away something that could be really good because you talk yourself out of it, things like that. And I think really what it's saying is, don't focus on somebody else. Right now, up here, when things are not great, focus on you. Focus on what you need. And even when you're making decisions, make sure that this is a decision that is balanced, okay? That works for both of you, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to have this strength, this power, right? If you just roll over and let anybody treat you any sort of way, that's not going to work either, right? This is about being balanced. This is about building a better foundation, a more peaceful, strong, equal foundation. And that's really what you want to build on, right? So I think, do make sure that you are, sticking to what you believe in, but also listening, timing it to where you can both talk rationally, and everybody is kind of getting kind of a feeling that they are involved and incorporated, and that you can move forward in a very copacetic way. Okay, so let's get 3 cards out of here, and this is kind of internal feelings is what these cards are based on. So they could be yours, or they could be the person that you are thinking of, your love or love perspective. Prospect. Did I say perspective? Your love prospect. Okay. It's the medicine. So let's see what we've got here. Okay. Emotional intimacy. I'm afraid to truly open up to you. Being raw and authentic with my emotion is something I'm still working on. Okay. And I think, right here, we have, this is on the Page of Cups, where it is a very, like I said, a very immature person. So, for those of you who this may be somebody new, you're just now dating, or maybe this is your first holiday season with this person, or maybe somebody you just want to be with, okay, you don't know a lot about and you're trying to be with, that may be part of your conflict. Things aren't going the way you want it to. Things aren't working out the way you had envisioned, the way you had imagined, and it's really causing friction. And a lot of it is because they are just not as open as you are. Be patient with that person. You're seeing them maybe as a very immature person, and maybe it's just that they're not open, they're closed off, okay? Try to understand them more, right? Try to get to know them, but maybe not right now. Like I said, everything is about timing. Allow the stress to let up. Give them a break right now, if that's the case. Let them have their moment to get through the stressful part of the year, the holidays, end of the year work deadlines, those kinds of things, whatever it may be, and then discuss it, okay? Then revisit it when they're a little bit less kind of, guarded and ready to pounce, right? Because that may be the issue, is that not that they're an immature person, it's just, and you may view it that way, but it's just that they're afraid or they're guarded, right? And you can certainly help with that. You can easily deal with something like that, right? You can baby them through that a little bit by, showing them the love that you feel for them. But let's see here. We have lost. I feel lost without you. And I feel like that's the very case here. This being upside down here, your foundation being kind of upside down, you really feel lost. Even if this is somebody you've been with your entire life and they're still living in the house with you right now, you're like, but they're not there emotionally for me. Right now, we're like 2 ships passing in the kitchen. And you feel lost. Like they're not helping me. They're not there. I'm used to texting them every day and they're not texting me back. What am I doing? What am I going to do? I feel completely lost. And I know that feeling, and I know what that's like, that the first person you want to go to would be like, oh my gosh, I have to tell you something. Oh my gosh, let me text you real quick. And they're no longer there for you. I know, trust me, I know what that's like. But really and truly, this, if it's meant to be this, and I believe it is for you, this will come around. It's not a problem. But forcing it right now is not a good idea, right? Let things calm, let the dust clear, let it settle, and then believe me, they feel the same as you do, okay? You both belong together, and you know this. It's just gonna take a minute for everybody's emotions, stress levels to kind of, okay? And then the last one we have here is attention of others. I'm addicted to the attention of others. I love feeling wanted and needed. I don't feel whole without it. And I feel like with the temperance here, and it's saying love yourself, I do feel like that is one thing that I would caution if this is a new person. And especially if this is a new person coming in where you are seeing the immature vibes, you're seeing that they might have these intimacy issues, that kind of thing, okay? If that is the case for you and you're feeling like they're not giving, you know, they're love bombing you, but they also are, you know, maybe they like attention of other people. This could be red flag of narcissistic situations, right? So I'm just going to caution that if that's the case, you know, this may be a situation where, you know, you want to kind of avoid that specific person. So if there's multiple people that you have interested in and one of them is that kind of person, they may not be as invested in you as they are just in having attention in general. And that may not be the person for you. You may need someone else, okay? They may be looking for attention of anyone and that won't work out, right? We all know that. But I think for the most part, you know, I think that if someone is the right one for you, this attention of others, you know, it will be something that will no longer be needed once you get to a point where you can start to kind of work through those, okay? Because they will understand, you know, that you will be enough, right? So hopefully this works out for you. If it does, please do like, subscribe, share, all the other great stuff. I'd love to hear from you. But I do feel like for the vast majority of you, I feel as though everything is going to work out great as long as you time it well. You may have to just lay off, step back throughout the next week, 2 weeks, that kind of thing. Let them have their space, even though it's killing you, before you really kind of try to do any movement forward, because I think otherwise you may kind of really regret it. It could fall flat. And I do think this is something where, you know, this is certainly salvageable no matter where you are in the relationship. So hopefully this works out.